GSP Plus is a special scheme which is designed to give additional concessions to those countries who effectively implement these conventions. Those are the eligibility criteria, and in the face of the reports such as the rapporteur's report I mentioned, we were obliged under our legislation to conduct an investigation. The question of whether we had discretion on this really doesn't come into it. This is a legal obligation on the Commission. The question of fairness, it's actually a question of an application of a law. We as the European Commission do not have that degree of discretion. Our laws are our laws, and we don't have discretion as to whether we apply them or not. The body of European law, of which the European Commission is the guardian and the executive, is not something which is optional. And the argument made by the government about fairness, in fact, is largely irrelevant to the question. As regards punishment, again, it's not a matter of punishment. Either Sri Lanka is eligible for GSP or it isn't. It's not a question of punishment. It was Sri Lanka applied for GSP status. It was granted GSP status and was fully aware of the conditions applied to GSP Plus, as are all countries who apply for GSP Plus and to whom it is granted. It is governed by European law. It is not a negotiated concession. Well, the government, but you can't have your cake and eat it. The regulation of GSP Plus under our sovereignty and our laws provides for investigations. There was no obligation upon Sri Lanka to ask for and to keep that concession. Sri Lanka was free to renounce that concession if it didn't agree with the conditions under which it was granted. But the conditions under which GSP Plus is granted by the European Union is governed by the regulations concerned, and we are the ones who are responsible to our authorities and to the population of Europe to apply the laws of the European Union. The government refused to cooperate with the investigation, but the investigation took place. There wasn't, if you like, it wasn't really, there was no veto. Beneficiaries of the GSP Plus scheme cannot veto our investigation under our laws. As I say, there is more than one sovereignty in this world, and we are responsible for administering ours. Secondly, at every stage in the process, we have invited the Sri Lankan authorities to contribute and to make their views known within the framework of the investigation. It was Sri Lanka's decision not to do that, but not ours. They were not excluded. And the investigation process was initially launched by a public call for submissions. And I have to say, of the 185 submissions that were received by the Commission, not all of them were hostile to the position of the Sri Lankan government. Some were, some weren't. It's a matter of what happens now. We have, as I say, throughout the investigation period, we have sought the views of the Sri Lankan authorities. We will continue to engage with the Sri Lankan authorities, and depending on not only the dialogue but also specific actions to address the concerns that are raised in the report, that will determine where we go from here. We will move forward with the process as I've described it, and we hope, and we have made representations to the government to say, please engage, let us have your reaction, and we certainly on our part will continue to do so. But obviously both sides have to participate.